Live from the 607, it's the Ocho Duro Parlay Hour, where we're talking everything going on in the world of sports. Join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag ODPH, because here we go.
Instead of looking deep inside, every word I have to say, keep it simple.
Welcome to an all-new edition of the ODPH podcast. What is happening, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us this week. My name is Ken M. Joining me in studio, as always, you know him. He's the co-host, statistician to stars, a man of 1,008 aliases. His name is Padawan J.
Let me talk to you.
And boy, we have a lot to talk about in the land of sports. So we definitely like to keep those conversations rolling after the show. So, Pad, where does everybody go?
ODPHpodcast.com.
Right on. Social media links are there. T Public Store link. I'm hearing we might have to make a transition soon. They have a software update going on. So if you're having issues getting ODPH stuff, let me know, and I'll see what I can help guide with. Also, a blog section, which we're always dropping reviews left and right. A directory, which has friends of the show, such as 3FN Podcast, Dragon Master Games, Nerd Initiative. Well, actually, that's the classifieds, because the directory, Pad, how many providers are featured over there?
172,123.
And who's your source?
Trust me, bro.
So wherever you listen to the ODPH on, you can find it there, and also leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher. It definitely helps the algorithm of the show. Last but certainly not least, we have a great music section where you can find out such musicians as Brian Wolf and the Howlers, Second Suitor, Tom Jolu. Holy smokes, he is doing a lot right now. If you're not following him on socials, make that change happen because you need to catch up with what he's doing. Shout out to the Robots, Floodlands. Basically, if it's all the music you hear on the ODPH, you can download it yourself, and then it's in your collection, and boom, you take it elsewhere. And then if it's anything else I might have forgotten, because, hey, we cover a lot of stuff here, ODPHpodcast.com is your stop, and always on social media. Remember, use the hashtags ODPHpod. We have a lot to dive into, Pad. Where do you want to start?
Why don't we start in wonderful St. Louis, Missouri, where WWE's latest PLE took place in Backlash.
Yes, the return to WrestleMania format, so to speak. I know a lot of times it's often referred to as WrestleMania Rewind. Mm-hmm. This time around, not so much in the Triple H regime. It's less is more, but nevertheless impactful. So there's a lot to break down on the card that happened this past Saturday night. Yeah. So let us deep dive into the next PLE in the calendar year, shall we?
Yeah, so this took place, as we mentioned, at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri, in front of an announced attendance of 17,155 folks. First match on the card was the Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship, with Jacob Fatu defending his belt via pinfall in 17 minutes and 55 seconds.
Well, this one had a little bit of hijinks in it.
Of course.
One thing that you'll hear a lot during these matches, there was a lot of, dare I say, messy finishes.
Yeah.
To put it mildly.
Yeah.
However, in this case, I was not personally mad about this because one man made his debut with what we can assume is Solo Sikoa's faction. Now, whether that's going to be still known as the Bloodline is anybody's guess. But Jeff freaking Cobb is now in the WWE. You do not understand how happy I am about this.
El Jefe Cabo.
Yes. You know his work in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Lucha Underground was a mainstay.
Yeah.
We actually got to see him here locally at Excite.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not going to say I may or may not have had part of the booking involving that
Allegedly.
We'll just put the allegedly in there to bring him in. But I'm just saying I'm a monster fan of him, and to see what he's going to do on the big stage of WWE is going to be real fun. Jacob Fatu did not know about his debut, according to his reactions in the ring. This match was very hard-hitting. It was everything we were expecting. But at the end of the day, I think we all knew Jacob was not losing the belt.
Yeah, this match was a car crash, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Agreed.
Because Fatal 4-Ways typically are just an absolute car crash of insanity. You know, everyone in this matchup was incredible. Especially Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Absolutely phenomenal jobs. But once Jeff Cobb showed up, and I got a disclaimer, I watched this a couple days later because I really need. Hi, WWE. Love you. Love the product. Can we please stop scheduling Backlash on Mother's Day weekend? I have missed watching this show live the last 3 years running because every weekend it's on. It's on Mother's Day weekend. And I am busy on Mother's Day weekend showing my wonderful mother how much I love and appreciate her. Thank you.
Shout out to all the moms out there.
Exactly. No, seriously, I've missed the one in Puerto Rico. I had to watch later. The one in France last year I had to watch later. And I watched this one later because, again, they all took place on Mother's Day weekend and I was busy. But so I watched this back. I knew Jeff Cobb was going to show up. So that was awesome to see take place, quote unquote, live. But then the thing I think is interesting about this is Jeff Cobb is joining Solo Sikoa. I'm not entirely sure Jacob Fatu is going to be sticking around for this. Just because you watch the reaction and you watch how he reacted once the shenanigans and Solo and company showed up. He did not look pleased about it. He did not look happy that, oh, you interfered and you didn't let me win clean. Now, could they spin Jacob Fatu off of his own? I think absolutely. He's enough of a star that he doesn't need a group around him to support him right now. Is it a little too early? Maybe. It's hard to say. Early tests might not always lead to the best results. So it could end up blowing up in their face. I don't think so, though. But I think just for the meantime, it's going to be an interesting story to see, is Jacob going to stick around or is he going to go, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
I think he sticks around just for a little bit. The one thing that Triple H knows better than anybody is the right moment to make the turn.
Yes.
Jacob Fatu has gotten over very organically with the crowd.
Holy hell yeah.
Which, if you've seen him on the indies, this was a no-brainer. This is easy money for the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing in Jeff Cobb, that does facilitate some moves that they want to make. Because I think ultimately this leads to Jacob versus Solo.
Could be.
At SummerSlam.
Could be.
And I think they have some time to build this up and really do the tease and really do it right.
Yeah.
So I don't have an issue with it. And I think that, he's going to stick around a little bit, but you have the new enforcer of the bloodline, so to speak, in Jeff Cobb. They can definitely do some moves there, and then depending on when everybody else is coming back from injuries and such.
Right.
They have something cooking in the works, and I like to see where this is ultimately going because I think at SummerSlam is either going to be the belt gets taken off Jacob and then he gets moved into the world title picture. Some might say it's too soon, but you listen to the crowd reaction, you listen to how things are selling, you can't deny him.
I mean, there has been talk and rumors of a draft coming up some point. So it's entirely possible. And to anybody sitting there going, oh, why do you think he's not going to stick around? Go back and watch after the match was over and he was walking back, and he being Jacob Fatu, he was walking back up the ramp while Solo and Jeff Cobb were standing there. And he kind of threw this disgusted look back over his shoulder.
Well, he wanted to win it by himself. Like he's establishing. I think they're testing it, making him like the cool heel, so to speak.
It could be the dipping the toe in the water.
Right, which, listen, that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't have any issue with this. This was nothing but a big bucket of win.
Absolutely.
Albeit, though, the ending was messy.
Yeah.
That's the only...
I agree with that.
The only thing I'll take away from that.
Yeah.
The next match, though...
Yeah, the next match was the singles match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship with Lyra Valkyria defending her belt against Becky Lynch via pinfall in 18 minutes and 45 seconds.
The biggest match and biggest win in Lyra Valkyria's career.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. I throw anything she did in NXT out the window.
Mm-hmm.
This was the moment she needed.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, and we'll be very honest, did we all think she was going to walk out of here with the belt?
Nope.
And she won it clean.
Yes, she did.
This was not a run-in from Bayley.
The ending seemed weird, though.
The ending, I think, was a little weird because the one thing that they were really trying to do, and listen, kudos to Becky for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Lyra is kind of her protege, if you will.
Well, yeah, that's the way they're billing it on TV.
Right. I think that she wanted to give her enough time to showcase her skills and really get the crowd involved.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, maybe the ending went on a little too long, but I did not mind it.
I'm not even talking like the ending went on too long. I agree with. I will say I do think the match was maybe like a minute or two too long. It felt a little.
It felt long.
It felt long.
Yeah.
I did appreciate all the stops they were pulling out to really get Valkyria over with the crowd. Beating her up around the ring while the ref's trying to get him back in the ring, putting Valkyria in front of her fiance.
Yeah.
Oh, is this is your woman? Like whatever she was saying, just really antagonizing her, like doing all the classic heel stuff you would expect. But at the same token, though, I look at this match and just go, especially after Monday, and I go, what was the point? I figured, okay, we might get a couple matches out of this. Becky will emerge victorious and win the Intercontinental Championship. Maybe it's SummerSlam because you've got to figure with Money in the Bank coming up here in another month or so. Then you can build to SummerSlam. You can really have a nice long feud with this. And then we get to Monday Night Raw where Becky Lynch cuts a promo, but it's just a promo. It's not really anything to do with Valkyria, and I don't even think Valkyria was on the show, so I'm kind of like, what was the point of it? It was a good match, but at the same token, I'm going, I found myself partway through the match going, what is the end goal here?
Well, I could sum it up for you. The point of this entire match was to get Lyra over, and they did, because I'll already bury the lead for the rest of the night. This was the match of the night.
Okay.
Easily. And what they wanted to do is establish her with the crowd. She did one thing that I like that she finally did, because with her gimmick being the bird thing,
yeah.
The fact that she was doing the bird call, right before she went to running and did the drop kick out of between the ropes.
Yes,
I love that she got the crowd involved. She needs to do stuff like that. That works. And seeing her do this, like I say, it was all to get her over with this title. Because now I think Becky is going to move on,
probably,
which is fine.
Yeah.
Because Becky does not need to necessarily chase the IC title.
Right.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. But I think in her situation, she's got bigger aspirations to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she can definitely now achieve that. And Lyra will be fine with whoever she's going to be facing now. I think separating them is good.
Yeah.
I just don't know for how long, per se. Because it all depends on what Bailey is doing. I know.
Yeah, I would say there is the talk of the Women's Evolution 2 pay-per-view.
Right. So I think they're going to start getting stuff in motion there. And,
probably.
And there's no way that Becky Lynch is not going to have a marquee matchup on that night.
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't know against who. Listen, I've been saying for a long time she needs to run it back with Rhea.
I agree with that.
So I think that should be a main event for Evolution 2. So
yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, I don't mind that this happened. Like I said, this is my match of the night. I thought they did really well.
Next up was a singles match for the WWE Men's Intercontinental Championship with Dominic Mysterio retaining his title, defeating Penta via pinfall in 9 minutes and 20 seconds.
The saga continues.
Yeah, this was certainly a match.
This was definitely a match. It was we talked about hijinks going on. Mm-hmm. A lot of that happening here.
Yeah, Judgment Day showed up in Finn Balor, Carlito, and JD McDonough. Shenanigans ensued. That didn't work, and then the luchador of all luchadors showed up, El Grande Americano.
Yep, who cheats Penta out of the win with a headbutt.
Fled the country to go back home.
Yeah, everything that they're doing with Chad Gable and his character here is
not Chad Gable.
So you say.
Have you ever seen the both of them in a room together?
I'm waiting.
Exactly.
I'm waiting. But everything they've done with this character, they've really done a great job with, and especially setting it up with Penta chasing, I think is the right move.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic as the IC champion is even money right now. The kid has earned it. He's doing all the right things in the promos.
Yeah.
So there's no point to make a switch at this stage.
No.
SummerSlam, different story, but for right now, let him run with the belt. And I think,
absolutely.
Especially how he's cheating to win, but he's already saying he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, and he's doing the little vignettes with it. I love it. Give just more Dominic Mysterio, the better.
I'll say everything they're doing with Dominic Mysterio is a win, especially the whole thing with time zones.
Yes.
On Monday Night Raw. That was incredible.
That was amazing.
Next up was a singles match between Gunther and Pat McAfee, with Gunther beating Pat McAfee via technical submission in 14 minutes even.
This was a way better match than it should have been.
Agreed.
I fully believe that. But this ended the way it was going to, and it was, I always hate saying this word, but it was filler, but it was good filler.
Yeah.
Because this just needed to give Gunther something to do until they put him in his next program.
Yep.
And for Pat McAfee, he wanted to get back on the show and back in the ring, I should say. And this was a good storyline to do because with Michael Cole defending it, Michael Cole doing his best Bobby the Brain Heenan, trying to hold Gunther's leg down when he's getting pinned.
I love at the start of the match, Michael Cole admitted, he's like, I am not going to be unbiased in this match.
Yeah. No, this was fun.
Everything about it was good.
Yeah, this was.
I'm not going to say it's the greatest match of all time.
No, by no means.
It's the greatest match of this year. No, but it was fun.
This was enough, and especially it won the respect of Gunther.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what he did at post match. Like I say, it was something that stood out, and
Yeah.
it was a good bridge gap for where he's going now.
It made a lot more sense to do this than to have him go, say, against like a mid-carder or a lower card.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because, like, Tozawa. Okay, could you have scheduled a match against Gunther and Tozawa? Sure. But it would have been over faster than this one would have been. And it would have been like, okay, you wasted a match with Gunther for that. At least
Yeah.
with this, you got a story. You got a whole thing out of it. It was a nice little thing for a couple weeks, and now you move on with Gunther.
Yeah, no, completely. So that being said, this did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Gunther's now back in the world title picture.
Yep.
Calling out Jey Uso. So, like,
Yep.
everything is making sense here, and especially with his talent. I would say if it wasn't for one other superstar, I would fully believe he's winning Money in the Bank. But we'll talk about that when that show is getting closer, because I have my suspicions who's winning that.
And then last and certainly not least was the main event of the evening. It was a singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship with John Cena defeating Randy Orton via pinfall in 27 minutes and 50 seconds for allegedly the last time. I say allegedly because, well, we got a lot of time between now and the end of the year.
We have a lot of time between now and the end of the year, exactly.
We also have the fallout on SmackDown to come.
But I am perfectly fine with how this ended, albeit, though, messy.
Took a while to get going.
Yep, a while to go. We talked about hijinks.
Yeah.
They tried having their own little Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
I know Rich from 3FN coins that. And
Sure.
But he's honest, though.
No, he's right.
Because this was just, how many ref bumps did you have? 4.
Oh, Lord. There was 4 ref bumps, and one of them went on for like what felt like forever.
Yeah, every single SmackDown official got RKO'd.
All right, that was incredible.
Yeah, and the ending of the match, I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, what was your take on it?
The ending was okay. I mean, I understood it from the perspective of like he just hit, what was it, like 5 or 6 RKOs in a row.
Yeah.
So he was a little dizzy, a little winded. So I'm like, okay, I can kind of buy it, but I feel like it could have been slightly better.
The injection of R-Truth in here, I thought was too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
I mean, given the post-fight press conference, it makes sense, but
Oh, it makes sense. No, it makes sense completely because
it's the moment everyone's been waiting for, and it finally came, and everyone went,
the timing of it, though, I don't like.
Sure.
That's the one big thing about it. Albeit, though, like you alluded to, the post-match presser, John Cena put R-Truth through a table.
Yeah, he did.
And now that is signed for Saturday Night Main Event, which I would say if I'm WWE and if I want to shock the world, R-Truth wins the belt Saturday night.
There's no way.
No, hear me out. He wins, but it's a situation like Chris Jericho defeated Triple H, and then they ran it back the next night or the next whatever on Raw. Now, granted, you'd have to work out dates with John, and it'd be a whole different story there.
Yeah.
But I would say if you want to see the internet explode, because R-Truth, if he wins, can you just imagine, like, the reaction? It would just be insane.
Yeah. I mean, it's not officially confirmed. He's that the match is it officially confirmed the match is taking happen?
I thought it was.
I don't think it is. I'm looking at the card for the event, and it's not listed there. So maybe. Let's just go on the assumption it is happening. Here's what I would do. Yeah, you can do the R-Truth wins, shock everybody, shock the world. Here's what I would do, and really just twist the knife in the abdomen of the internet wrestling community and fans. R-Truth, especially the last decade or so, beloved by everyone. I dare you to find a person who doesn't love R-Truth.
Yeah, he's great.
Here's what you do. Remember Brock Lesnar, John Cena, SummerSlam, what was it, 2015? And the absolute hellacious beatdown Lesnar put on Cena. What was it, like 20-something suplexes?
Yeah, give
Give or take. Do something like that where R-Truth, because it's R-Truth. That's little Jimmy. That's my best friend. That's my childhood hero. And he comes in and he doesn't know what's happening. He thinks he's there to tag with him, and John Cena just beats the holy hell out of him. R-Truth doesn't get a single second. I'm not even talking minute. R-Truth doesn't even get a single second of offense in. And the match is 6 minutes, something real quick. I'm not saying, Daniel Bryan, Sheamus levels of quick, where it was like 6 seconds, whatever the hell it was. But just absolute beatdown. Because one of the things I've noticed with Cena, especially his last couple matches since he turned heel and since he came back, he can't go. He's lost his step, which, okay, probably
it's father time, man.
It's father time, and I think it's partially true. But it's also, he's doing the chicken shit heel thing. oh, I don't like the chicken shit heel thing. Oh,
Well, that's what he
I
is.
want to see him I want to see him dominant. And sure, I can see it both ways. I just want to see him because he's all about proving the fans wrong. He's all about, oh, you guys are wrong. Prove them wrong here.
Yeah, I mean, what did he say? He's going to ruin the business.
This is true.
That's the whole thing he's trying to do.
This is
So,
true.
I mean, I could definitely see that happening. I would just throw that big curveball in there just
Yeah.
to really throw everything off.
Yeah.
But this is still long overdue for R-Truth to get a title shot in this manner. So I'm fully banking. If it hasn't been officially announced by the time
I don't think it has. The only two matches officially announced for the card taking place on May 24th from the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida, are Jey Uso and Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then you've got the tag match between CM Punk and Sami Zayn taking on Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
I'm already calling this right now. Sami Zayn is turning.
Maybe.
He is joining. He is the third man in that faction.
Maybe.
And you know what I think he should do is just shave the beard and get a short haircut.
Of course.
After.
A lot of people think the third man in the Rollins Breaker situation is the man challenging for Jey Uso's belt.
You know,
Which I'm like,
it really wouldn't benefit for Logan Paul.
No, I mean, it would make sense in a way.
It would make sense. I mean, if we want to do this locks and leap styles, knowing how they're setting this up, I think Sammy is a lock.
Could be.
Originally, I would say Austin Theory would be the lock here.
Yeah.
However, I think you have to really take a look at the leap situation, and it just depends on how they want to spin it. The leap situation you could do as a carrying cross because he's even money right now.
He is, what is it, the top three, if not the number one.
He's number one right now.
Number one selling merch mover right now. Here's one that should be due back any day now, if he's not already cleared already. Ilya Dragunov.
Dragunov would be cool too.
Just as a real curveball. You haven't seen this guy in a while. We want to insert him in a story we know he can do a lot for. Boom. Dragunov.
I just want to see him and Gunther go fight at SummerSlam. Give him 30 minutes and just let him go.
Please.
But, yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways they could do it. I think the Sami Zayn thing is a good trip
Sure.
to mess everybody up.
Sure.
I mean, or it could be whoever the third man is costs them the match.
Okay, could be.
Because, I mean, Sammy is almost...
He's in this weird in-between.
Well, I wouldn't say in between. He's the closest that we have to, like, a Mick Foley
Sure.
right now.
Sure.
That even if you try turning him heel, I don't necessarily know if you buy him because he's so damn entertaining.
No.
So that's the situation they're going to have to sense out. But like I say, it all depends on what they want to do with Cena as well, too.
Right.
How they're shaping up for Saturday Night Main Event, they're doing a very, very good job with.
Absolutely.
And especially going into Double or Nothing weekend, which that's going to be taking place, they're really going to want to put on a good show. Mm-hmm. But WWE is clicking on all cylinders. They're really rocking and rolling. Mm-hmm. And especially for the card, even with it being quote-unquote subpar, because I think, honestly, it was a lot of hijinks overall.
The card was fine.
But the card was fine. But like I say, to make it like a PLE, card of the year, I can't co-sign on that.
No, what did I think? I think I gave it out of 5 stars. I think I gave it about a 3.5.
It's a 3.5 range.
3.5. It was fine.
It's fine. It's a good show.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminded me a little bit of Monday Night Raw in a sense.
Yeah.
It was just too many weird finishes.
There were a lot of people saying it was the greatest episode of Monday Night Raw or the greatest episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and from a certain perspective, they're not wrong.
Yeah, no, completely right there with you. So that being said, hit us up on the hashtag ODPHpod. Give us your thoughts about WWE Backlash. Did you love the card? Did you hate it? Let's talk about it. And for even more wrestling content, every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Nerd Initiative YouTube. It's a Wrestling Night Live, so go check it out. Subscribe now. But we're going to get a quick break. We'll be right back.
Do you like comic books?
What about movies and TV shows?
Well, we may be the show for you.
We're Hops Geek News, a weekly podcast that discusses comics, movies, and TV shows while featuring a beer of the week.
Every week, we chat about what we messed up on the week before, and then we dive into what we're reading and watching, as well as some news.
We then wrap it up with a geek-themed topic of the week.
You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts by searching Hops Geek News.
Cheers.
Coming back for another segment on this edition of the ODPH podcast. And we were originally going to lead with this segment, but we wanted to get confirmation, and unfortunately, we had to get confirmation that something very bad had happened. Worst possible result of an injury last night. So, Pad, first and foremost, what are we going to be talking about?
We were talking about the NBA playoffs taking place over the next couple weeks as we record, going well into June, and the unfortunate news surrounding Boston Celtics star Jason Tatum.
Yeah, so I know we usually wait to go for the Knicks last, but why don't we just lead in there, because obviously that's unfortunately the story that we have to cover.
So that series currently going on where it's the 2-seeded Boston Celtics, of course, defending champs, going up against the 3-seeded New York Knicks. Long story history between these two franchises and these two cities. But yeah, New York currently up 3-1 as we record. Shocked the you-know-what out of everybody those first two games. You know, Knicks, what was they down? 20 points at one point?
20 points in both games late in the third quarters, and they mounted a insane run late. I believe game one was a 30-6 run in the final 8 minutes of the game.
Something like that, yeah.
So the one thing about the Knicks is they're gritty when they need to be. But note how I say this. I will be as critical about them as anybody is going to be. The Knicks play almost to the potential of when we have to, we will. They don't come out of the gate hot, ever.
Right.
They are a slow start. They don't get anything rolling until it's almost too late. And then what they did is they took advantage of a Boston team that egregiously was shooting three-pointers for no reason.
My Lord have mercy.
And I believe the stat was they took 60 shots and missed 43 of them on game one.
Something insane like that. Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking it up now. Box score. Boston Celtics for a team. Three-pointers. Lord have mercy. They made 15 of them. They attempted 60.
Yeah. So, obviously, it has not been the greatest of performances, shall we say.
To say the least.
From the Celtics.
Good Lord.
But in where they've been heading, I mean, obviously, it has been a tough road. Because, obviously, losing your first two games, just to kind of go back and recap a little bit here.
Yeah.
You know, the games 1 and 2 just have not been on point. Game 3 was one in Boston's favor. But game 4, unfortunately, was out of their reach by the time it got to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally how you can kind of sum it up and then some.
And now that one of your star players is down, it's going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, because as we have alluded to, obviously they had a very tragic injury happen to Jason Tatum. It is officially confirmed once again that they have an Achilles injury that he had
surgery.
He had surgery, so he's going to be out the entire season and next season. Obviously, that's a devastating loss for them. For the Knicks, I mean, they had this game wrapped up for game 4.
Yeah.
And then now they have to go to game 5, and they have to close it out. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I think anything left on the table is they're going to have a lot of doubters about the true success of this team. But the one thing that they've done is Jalen Brunson has really led this team. Karl Anthony Towns has been putting up points.
Yeah.
But Mikal Bridges' defense has really been what's summed up and taken everybody home.
Yeah. Then on the other side, you've got the shocking series, I think, for some folks, where the Indiana Pacers up 3-1 on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, I think the easiest way you could say it is Cleveland was hit with the injury bug at the worst possible time.
Oh, tell me about it.
Donovan Mitchell, as we're recording tonight, is a game-time decision for the pivotal Game 5.
I have looked everywhere to find out if he's actually playing. Nobody knows.
Nobody has any ideas. So it's going to be a tough road for Cleveland to come back from. I just don't think they can. I think Tyrese Halliburton and company have really felt a chip on their shoulder. They've been overlooked in this entire series.
Oh, sure.
And I think they're going to want to try making this a statement win as much as they can, and plus get rest. Because if they have to go head-to-head with the Knicks, as it is looking, this is going to be box office. This is going to be a lot of pressure. If you thought the previous playoff games were anything, it's going to fall short in comparison. With the trip to the finals for both teams, it is going to be absolutely insane basketball, but especially if they have to come to the Garden, knowing the history of Reggie Miller playing in Madison Square Garden, it is a lot to take on their shoulders. And I think with a young team like this, I don't know how they're going to match up. I do like the Knicks a little better than them in the situation. So I think that they would have the upper hand.
Yeah.
But anything could happen on the court. But you have to remember last year when they were in the playoffs, all the Knicks were injured. And they were smoking. I mean, they were beating the Pacers outright until everybody started getting hurt.
Right.
Once all the injuries added up, the Knicks had nothing left. Now, if this team stays healthy for this, I want to say it's going to be Knicks in 6 again, but we'll have to kind of wait to see how it plays.
We'll see.
And then taking a quick look at the West side, one series is really up in the air, and that's the 2-2 series between Oklahoma City and Denver. I mean, what's been your thoughts on this, Pat?
Just a little surprised that Oklahoma City hasn't really taken that step forward everyone figured they would.
Yeah.
That, like, okay, last year they performed well, didn't do so well, but hey, it's, kind of rookie inexperience with making it to the playoffs. You'll learn, you'll improve, and you're in Denver, who, by the way, is still coaching with an interim head coach.
Yeah.
And it's 2-2.
It's wild to think about, but this is just veteran leadership taking over.
Sure.
And Oklahoma City just has not taken that next step for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. They're close. I mean, we thought they were, but the fact that they still have Denver 2-2 and a pivotal Game 5, which I would not feel that confident, even though they're playing at home, I still think that Denver's showing that veteran savviness that they can step up, and Murray and Jokic are on point, then they're good. SGA needs help. He needs consistent help. I don't think he's gotten that this series. And unless he gets that tonight, I think that this could go Denver's favor, and they might steal this series from him.
So it's looking like, and I'm doing a search online, it looks like Donovan might be playing. According to a gentleman by the name of Mikey McNuggets, or Mike Lucas on Twitter. He's the senior producer for Ultimate Cleveland Sports. He said, quote, got about as close as humanly possible to Donovan Mitchell in pregame warmups, and he does not appear to be wearing any kind of significant brace on his left ankle. It's just warmups, but he looks like he is moving around pretty effortlessly to me with the video, and I'd say, in my unofficial opinion, yeah, he looks pretty good.
We'll have to wait to see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. He could get on the court and re-aggravate.
That's true.
That's the one thing he has to think about, but I would say with any competitor, they're going to want to get on the court and do what they can. Much can be said for the other Western Conference series going on, but let's face it, this has been the face of the NBA taking on the very much veteran Golden State Warriors. And we're talking about Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
They're up 3-1 in the series. They've been looking sensational in this, albeit though Steph Curry has not played in this for the Warriors.
Yep.
But we all knew that they were kind of playing on borrowed time.
Father time.
Yep, and there's nothing to take away from them. Obviously, one of the best franchises in recent memory, had a lot of championships, but now is a true passing of the torch, which Anthony Edwards is adding more legends to his legend killer list as
much as he doesn't want to.
As much as he doesn't want to, he's trying to stay somewhat humble about that when he gets referred to as being the face of the NBA. But let's face it, there hasn't been anybody filling in that whole Kobe/Jordan superstar-esque role that's thriving on the competition. You could try to make an argument for LeBron.
Yeah.
But Anthony has not been asking for a super team around him.
No.
And he's been doing this single-handedly by himself. I think he's going to win the series outright, and then if they get to face Oklahoma City, I think they take them outright. I don't know how they will fare up against Denver. I think Denver can give them some problems when that happens. But I think the dream matchup for the fantasy bookers and advertisers would be Indiana, New York.
Yep.
New York wins, and it's New York, Minnesota in the finals.
Storytelling at its finest.
Anthony Edwards at MSG, in Broadway's biggest stage. Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo coming back home. It would be a wild scenario to play out. So, I mean, obviously that's been our picks for the playoffs. We'll have a little more in-depth coverage on next week's show. Very quickly, though, it was announced that Giannis from Milwaukee has announced that he is open to being moved in the offseason. So, Pat, one, do you think this is true? And two, where do you think he goes?
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, I think he's done everything he can for Milwaukee. He got him a championship. He is a beloved hero there for the rest of time. And I think it's just a business decision at this point. They brought in Damian Lillard, and it really didn't do anything. So I think it's time to move on. As for where I think he'll go, I mean, listen, I could take the homer pick and say New York and come to the Knicks and all that, which would be fun.
Bless you.
But I think, and I can't take credit for this, I saw this thrown out and I went, oh dear God, would be him in San Antonio. Because him and Wemby, oh Lord.
That would be wild.
Oh Lord, that's like a cheat code.
It is an absolute cheat code. I do think that is a perfect landing spot for him. I know that some of the names have been thrown out have been Houston, which does have a lot of draft assets. I don't think he goes there.
No.
Another one has been Oklahoma City, as wild as that sounds. I even heard one commentator say that he does have a potential for being traded straight up for SGA. I don't buy that for 1 second.
You need to move some money, but
Yeah,
sure.
I just don't buy that. I think that he is going to wind up going to a contender instantly that's ready to win a chip for a while. San Antonio's got a lot of young talent, so I would say that would probably be the best landing spot for him at this stage in his career.
Yeah.
If you wanted to come to the Knicks, I mean, it would take a lot of moving parts because they don't have a lot of assets.
True.
But the Knicks would at least entertain. I would say that. But anywhere else like Miami, they have no chance. They'd have to give up too much, and he'd be in the same spot. Like
Pretty much.
It would just be a mirrored move. Like there would just be nothing behind it. But for the Western Conference, like I say, I don't know necessarily if he'd want to go out there because I think that's a tougher place to go play. If he wants to get an instant championship, I think staying in the East would be the better way to go. But if he has young talent around him like Wemby, that is an ideal landing spot.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say Giannis to San Antonio. Let's see if that happens. I know the one place he will not wind up is Dallas. They have the number 1 pick. Cooper Flagg is on his way. They've already confirmed that. So we'll just kind of have to wait to see where all the other parts map out.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, hit us up on the hashtag ODPH pod. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. How is your team doing? And where do you think is going to be the finals in this playoff bracket? Is it going to be in New York? Is it going to be in Minnesota, Golden State, Denver? Where is it going to go? Let us know. We're going to get another breakout. We'll be right back.
This is Tom from Tom Joe Lou,
This is Matt from Sidemen Sounds.
and you're listening to ODPH Podcast.
Wanna go where no one knows my name, to the desert, the oceans, or the plains. 'Cause I wanna go.
Coming back for the final segment on this edition of the ODPH podcast. Pad, what you got?
Got a couple things to talk about. First of which is the local minute, and we have to give our congratulations
Yes.
to the Binghamton Black Bears. They won the series this past weekend to emerge victorious yet again and repeat as Federal Prospects Hockey League champions. So they are the 2024 and 2025 Commissioner's Cup champions, defeating the Carolina Thunderbirds yet again in front of a capacity crowd here at home. And hey, to them, congratulations.
Very big move to see. What can you say? Go back to back, bringing home the cup. I know Friday night in the 607 was rocking.
No kidding.
A little bit to put it mildly. So congratulations out to the guys for bringing it home.
Absolutely. Then we're going to talk some baseball because while the hockey season is wrapped up, the baseball season in full swing. Looking at the standings for the Double-A Binghamton Rumble Ponies over in the Eastern League, Portland Sea Dogs, the Boston Red Sox affiliate, still in first place, but only by a half a game. They have a record of 18-12, sitting in second place. Who is that half a game behind? That's our own Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
There we go.
Sitting with the record of 18-13. After that, it's the Hartford Yard Goats, who are the Colorado Rockies affiliate, sitting there tied with the Binghamton Rumble Ponies in second place with a record of 18-13. Then you've got New Hampshire, the Toronto Blue Jays affiliate, who are next with a record of 14-18. Then you've got the Somerset Patriots, who are the Yankees affiliate, sitting in second to last with a record of 14-19. Then you've got the Reading Fightin' Phils, who are in last place with a record of 9-21. Looking at the schedule from this past week, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies had a home series against the Reading Fightin' Phils. Game on Tuesday was postponed because of rain and was made up later that weekend. The game on Wednesday, they won by the final score of 9-7. Won on Thursday by the final score of 6-5. The game on Friday was canceled because of rain. Does not appear it's going to be made up at any point, so take note of that. The game Saturday was a doubleheader, as I alluded to. The early game was a 7-5 loss. Won the game after that, though, by the final score of 6-0, and lost the game on Sunday by the final score of 2-3. This week they're on the road playing the Hartford Yard Goats on the road. They get a game Tuesday at 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Doubleheader on Wednesday. First game is 5 o'clock Eastern. Game 2 will be, which is a part of a makeup from an April 12th game. That'll be 30 minutes after the end of the first game. Game on Thursday, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Friday, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, 6:10 p.m. Eastern.
Hey.
And then Sunday is at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Don't worry, though. You don't have long to wait for their return because the Rumble Ponies return home for their next home series the week after. It'll start on May 20th against Richmond. So for more tickets, information, all that good stuff, bingrp.com. Then we're going to keep it with baseball. First of which, to the Yankees. I got to talk a little bit of Yankees. To Oswaldo Cabrera, get well soon.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
If you have not seen the play, if you have a weak stomach, probably don't look it up.
Fractured ankle.
On the 10-day IL, but he'll probably be out longer than that. Absolutely gut-wrenching injury. It's bad when the training staff came out there and immediately put a towel over his ankle. So he will be out for a lengthy amount of time, but I guess a little bit of a silver lining. DJ LeMahieu has been activated from the injured list and will be making his way to the team. He will not be playing tonight, although reports are saying he will be playing for the team tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to be hurting for help in the meantime, in between time. Then we're going to talk some shocking news because, well, I never thought this day would come, but it has. And that is Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson are among 17 players who have been reinstated by Major League Baseball. Reading from an article on ESPN.com, quote, in a historic sweeping decision, Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred on Tuesday removed Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and other deceased players from the Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list. The all-time hit king and Jackson, both longtime baseball pariahs stained by gambling, seen by MLB as the game's mortal sin, are now eligible for election into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Manfred ruled that MLB's punishment of banned individuals ends upon their deaths. Obviously, a person no longer with us cannot represent a threat to the integrity of the game, Manfred wrote in a letter to attorney Jeffrey M. Lenkov, who petitioned for Rose's removal from the list January 8th. Moreover, it is hard to conceive of a penalty that has more detriment effect than one that lasts a lifetime with no reprieve. Therefore, I have concluded that permanent ineligibility ends upon the passing of the disciplined individual, and Mr. Rose will be removed from the permanently ineligible list, close quote. Manfred's decision ends the ban that Rose accepted from then-Commissioner A. Bartlett Giamatti in August 1989, following an MLB investigation that determined that the 17-time All-Star had bet on games while managing the Cincinnati Reds. Jackson and 7 other Chicago White Sox were banned from playing professional baseball in 1921 by MLB's first commissioner, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, for fixing the 1919 World Series. Based on current rules for players who last played more than 15 years ago, it appears the earliest Rose and Jackson could be enshrined in summer 2028 if they are elected, close quote. And we should note that is not from the writers, that would be from the Veterans Committee.
Yes.
So that'd be from former players, managers, and whatnot that have been elected to the Hall of Fame. But, boy, I never thought I'd see this day come.
No, definitely not. I will say, just personally, I would have hoped that they did it while Pete Rose was alive.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I mean, in my opinion, I think he's long overdue to be in.
As a player, yes.
Yeah, as a player, yes. So that being said, it is bittersweet. I think that's probably the nicest way I can put it.
Yeah.
Without going on too much of a really wild rant, just because of reasons. So, but like I say, it's at least he's going to get some flowers. I just wish
he'll get in. Like I said, it'll be the Veterans Committee, so it won't be next year. The crew that's getting elected in this year already been determined, already been announced. That's taking place here in July, and it won't be next year, so it'll be 2028 at the earliest.
Yeah. So before we get into UFC, definitely want to mention very quickly our condolences out to the friends, family, and fans of legendary hardcore wrestler Sabu, who passed away at the age of 60.
Yeah.
So if you never saw him wrestle in ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, he was one of the people that put him on the map. Very wild style. I know he was in WWE for a quick cup of coffee for a little bit. But, yeah, if you ever just saw a lot of the innovative stuff that he did in the ring, definitely left an impression on a lot of the extreme wrestling that you see in the indies these days, and even on the main roster too. definitely made his impression. So
WWE currently has a playlist on their YouTube channel called Remembering Sabu with 8 videos on it, including, and all of them are some full matches, top 10 moments, and various other things. So yeah, definitely give that a watch.
yeah, definitely. Like I say, if you never saw his stuff with Taz way back when in the build up of that feud,
Yeah.
that is old school long term booking. That was one of the pinnacles of ECW. So like we say, our definitely condolences go out to his family, friends, and fans all over the world. Now, to close with, there is a lot of UFC news breaking right now.
Okay.
But let's go through the card very quickly because UFC 315 was this past weekend.
Yeah, it took place this past weekend from the wonderful Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Main card opened with Benoit Saint Denis defeating Kyle Preplokic in it with a arm triangle choke submission at 2 minutes and 35 seconds of the second round in a lightweight fight.
Very solid match. Saint Denis is very slept on, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I
I
agree with
wasn't super shocked at this one.
No. Next up was a women's flyweight matchup with Natalia Silva defeating Alexa Grasso via unanimous decision. All 3 judges scoring the contest 30-27.
Surprises when split, to be honest with you. But listen, you can't take anything away from Silva. And this, it was a great fight. But now, what's the question going to be? Where does she go from here? So that's going to be something that we'll kind of have to watch. But we do have one more fight that'll kind of dictate that a little bit here on the card.
Next up was a featherweight matchup where Ayman Zahabi defeated Jose Aldo via unanimous decision. All 3 judges scoring the contest 29-28.
This is sad to see
Yeah.
because Jose Aldo in his prime, king of the featherweights.
Oh, Lord, yeah, I was.
So I know that he came back out of retirement for this one and just did not go his way. I know he was retired again. I think he needs to stay retired.
Agreed.
There's no shame in it. Hall of Famer without question. But I think at the end of the day, yeah, it's a wrap for him. And there's no shame in that. It's just listen, Father Time catches up with everybody.
Yeah. Next up was the co-main event of the evening for the women's flyweight championship, and you had Valentina Shevchenko defend her belt by defeating Manon Ferro by unanimous decision. All 3 judges scoring the contest 48-47.
Shevchenko, right now, pound for pound, the best women's fighter on the planet.
Yep.
So where do you go with her? That's the question. Silva, who fought earlier on that card, that would make a lot of sense to do that fight. I know that Zhang Weili is also a name you could do for a super fight, which, listen, I'd be okay with that.
Sure.
Because you have to do something with Shevchenko. I know Amanda Nunes, if she decides to come out of retirement, that's the biggest fight they could make. Albeit, though, Nunes has had Shevchenko's number. So there's a couple possibilities to do. Otherwise, it's I don't know where you go.
Well, currently on UFC.com/rankings in the women's flyweight division, the number 1 ranked fighter, having jumped 4 spaces, is Natalia Silva.
Yeah, Silva makes a lot of sense to do. Like I say, if they can't make a super fight, that's the fight you'd make.
Sure.
So no argument there.
Then you get to the main event of the evening, which was for the UFC welterweight championship. You had Jack Della Maddalena defeat Bilal Muhammad via unanimous decision. 2 judges scoring the contest 48-47. 3rd judge scoring the contest 49-46 to declare your new UFC welterweight champion in Jack Della Maddalena.
Maddalena, I thought he won this outright. I thought he outpointed. I thought he did everything he needed to do to win. So it was a little bit of a shock, I will say, but because you never know in the fights with the judges. It was a very close fight.
Yeah.
I mean, my just opinion, I thought JDM did enough to win. So I think the judges reflected it. But now there's some breaking news, Pad, that is going to impact this.
Okay.
Literally breaking as we record. I love that they actually did this for us.
Thank God.
Islam Makhachev is vacating the 155 lightweight title.
Oh, shit.
To move up to welterweight.
Oh, Lord.
And it appears, it has not been officially confirmed, that he will be getting a title shot against Jack
Maddalena.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
So he is now moved up. It's official.
Okay.
The other big domino that is falling is obviously if he leaves the lightweight title,
somebody needs to be champion.
Charles Oliveira is now slotted in to fight one Ilya Tupria.
Ooh.
Who's now vacated the 145
All
because
right.
he was struggling to make weight. He's now at
All
155. That bout is going to be taking place at UFC 317.
Ooh, all right.
So some dominoes have definitely fallen into place there.
Right.
The only one I guess you could say about is where does Bilal Muhammad go from here?
Lost in the shuffle.
Well, he'll get somebody. He'll get a name. Depends on how far they want to go. Ian Gary is a possibility.
Right.
Granted, it's kind of a long shot, But I think it honestly depends on what happens on June 14th.
Right.
I think that Joaquin Buckley is scheduled to fight Kamaru Usman. I could definitely see the winner of that, getting a shot against Muhammad to kind of buy some time. Because they're going to need to do something now at 170 if Makhachev is moving up and JDM's. I can't see the fact he's moving up. I can't see them not giving him the title shot. So this is going to be a little bit of box office. So we'll kind of have to wait to see how this plays out. But it's exciting news to see nevertheless.
Yeah, no kidding.
But with Makhachev, I mean, it was rumored for a long time. He was thinking about moving up to 170.
I heard the rumblings.
I mean, they're definitely there. So I think that's a good weight class for him.
Yeah.
I'm curious how he's going to stack up, though. That's the only thing. I mean, his Sambo style is I don't think it's going to be an exact runaway on JDM. I don't think so. But I think it's going to be some good box office, especially, too, if I'm not mistaken, JDM trains with Volkanovski.
Could be.
Who has fought Makhachev a couple times. So they've got some potential to make something happen here. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. And then the UFC, like I said, they're making a lot of noise with their cards.
I'm looking at the next two cards. They're stacked.
Yeah, no, they're getting near.
They're very good.
They're getting near International Fight Week, so they want to build up as much momentum as they can.
Yeah.
But they got some real solid fights, and especially, like I say, now with UFC 317.
Yeah, I'll say 317, you've got the just added Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. Co-main is going to be Alexandra Pantoja versus Kai Kara France for the flyweight title. Lightweight matchup would be Neil Darush versus Renato Moicano.
Oh, that's going to be some fun trash talk.
Flyweight matchup between Brandon Royval and former Ryzen bantamweight champion Manel Cape. Paulo Costa and Roman Kopolov. Like, holy hell.
Yeah,
Jack Hermansson's on this card.
They're loading up the deck for that
Good
one.
Lord.
Well, I think they need to. I think now, especially if I'm not mistaken, the contracts are they're allowed to start negotiating.
Yes, the negotiation for where they want to broadcast.
I'm just gonna say, like, if I have to do an educated guess, they're gonna really be loading up cards. Not saying they weren't giving you your money's worth before, but I really think that now, with it being open season on working on a contract deal, you're gonna see a lot more super cards getting put together. And especially International Fight Week, that should be the biggest fight card they can put together.
Right.
But we'll have to wait to see how it all shapes up. A lot of stuff breaking late.
No kidding.
Love it. Love it. And if it's anything else that we might have forgotten, well, ODPH Podcast is the place you got to go. That's it for this week for sports. So for the one and only Padawan J.
Fuck the Astros.
I'm your host, Ken M. Thank you as always for listening to the ODPH Podcast. See you next time.
It's such waste of time swiping left and swiping right on people you could know. 'Cause anyone who's worth a damn be worth way more than a picture could ever show. You could find the right light, find the right angle, and never find your soul. And it can feel like a losing battle, and this plot is full of holes. This modern way of finding love just makes me feel so alone. And I can't be the only one sick of staring at my phone. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Don't know that I believe in the old-time fable. Everyone has just one true love. All I know is you're across this table, and you're all I'm thinking of. So look up, talk to me, a better way to spend our energy. Just look up, talk to me. We don't have to float alone on the open sea. Talk to me. Talk to me. laughing right on people you could know.